Dude, that was way harder than it needed to be. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Dirty and Driven Podcast. My name is James Deviney. I am your host, coming at you for the first time ever on YouTube Live. We've never done this before. We've tried before, and we realized we were technologically ignorant, and so now we got it all figured out. I think to where we can actually run this thing YouTube Live in it. So I don't know if we got anybody on here right now. I don't even know how to check. I know you can, but I don't even know how.
Yeah, we got looks like Dustin Connor and Mama Llama 74 are on right now.
Oh yeah, who's the other one? Mama Llama. Oh, is that Melody?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Melody. She's a real one, man. Hell yeah. Well, that beautiful, luscious voice you just heard, if you didn't already know, is the boy, Casey D.
How are you?
And this is the show where we bring people to the blue-collar world and teach them how to kick ass. Our goal here is to gain, train, and retain solid, hard-working individuals in the blue-collar construction trades. That's what we're going to try and do today. I'm glad you got the monitor on them comments and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how time delayed or whatever this is, but KCD, shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I think, if you're listening, watching live, there's different things you can do. You can, normally we have the tip jar, but we made it really easy for you because now you can just leave a super chat.
Is that what it's called on YouTube?
Yeah. So we normally have the tip jar where you got to go in and do the whole thing. Well, the super chats, you can just make it rain like a strip club in there, man.
Is the super chat, is there a minimum to make it a super chat? Can you do 25 cents? Does that constitute a super chat, or is it like $25? Then that's the threshold to be a super chat.
Dude, you're asking me a lot of questions that I just do not have the answers to.
Yeah, because you would think like a quarter or 25 cents would be an okay chat or a lukewarm chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not.
Then you work your way up to a super chat.
Yeah. You have like a nerd chat. That's like 25 cents.
Yeah.
And then because you got what would be the levels there? You'd have novice, right?
Then intermediate.
And then intermediate maybe.
Yeah.
And then super.
But you could have an apprentice in there.
Yeah, you could have an apprentice.
Throw in one of those.
Yeah, drop in just, like maybe a novice.
Maybe throw in associates, kind of tie in the educational.
Throw in associates?
Yeah, then your bachelors and your masters and your doctorates.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that depends if you go the college route or the trade school route.
Yeah.
On the super chats.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, dude. Well, this is the last time. I'm kind of glad we're doing this live. Just because, if you're listening on the audio platforms, then there's no skipped beats or anything like that. But we're still going to be a little bit behind. So there's some breaking news that we're probably going to get into today. And as always, Dirty and Driven News Network is 2 weeks late and 80% incorrect. So that's kind of how this is going to be coming out, especially reporting it now. And then this doesn't come out for another 2 weeks because we're a week ahead right now. So if you're listening live, then you actually get the real-time feel for stuff. But if you're listening just on the audio, then you're missing out.
Yeah, there's a chance we could pump this thing out early, and then we could do one whenever I'm out of town or whatever.
Oh, like a call-in?
Like a remote deal, and then do that for whenever it's released.
Are you going to have Wi-Fi on a cruise ship?
Yes. And I think almost all of them have the Starlink now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's I think you have like a minimum that they'll give you kind of data-wise, a real small package, but then you can get like an unlimited package for X amount.
Okay. Yeah, we might have to figure something out there. I don't know.
Plus, I'll be in Miami for a couple days this weekend, so Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
We do it then.
Little South Beach. Dude, That is one of the nastiest places I've ever been in my life. You ever been to South Beach?
Nope.
See, I went, I wasn't, it's kind of funny. I went there, whenever I was in the Boy Scouts, I went to Florida Sea Base, which is kind of their high adventure camp. We went.
Sea Bass? Florida Sea Bass?
Sea Bass? No, B-A-S-E, not B-A-S-S.
Oh, okay.
And we went on like a scuba diving trip and all that. It was pretty cool. I was in high school. I think I was maybe 15 years old. Well, the thing about Boy Scouts, which sucks, is you got to wear your uniform anytime you travel. So we kind of had we had like 8 hours of downtime after the trip was over before we had to go to the airport. So it was like we got kicked out of Sea Base and it was like, oh, let's go eat in Miami, go find somewhere cool to hit up. So we're just a bunch of Boy Scouts looking like total dweebs walking around in our Boy Scout uniforms on South Beach. And dude, I'd never been anywhere like that before. It was spring break.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Nice.
I mean, I'm 15 years old.
Yeah.
I'd never been around that environment before. And it was nuts, man. But the worst part is there was a bunch of ladies walking around that were like, I'm talking about big fat fatties, man. I'm not talking about fat bottom girls. I'm talking about like 400 or 500 pounders wearing thong bikinis.
Lizzos.
Yeah. Wearing thong bikinis.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. I mean, obviously there was a lot of attractive women too, but that was that's still just ingrained in my memory as a scarring time in my childhood.
What's the normal Boy Scout outfit back then? Was it like wearing coach's shorts with like a button up collared shirt with your tie?
No, it wasn't coach's shorts.
I was going to say short coach's shorts, but that's kind of like a double Watusi.
You know, they didn't really have a lot of like if it was like a event or a banquet, you'd wear like the green cargo pants that they had. You know, they'd like it if you wore like jeans or something, but most of the time it was literally like gym shorts and the uniform. So it was like from like waist up, you looked good. Waist down, you didn't.
Wearing them tight little gym shorts. It looks like you got packing a roll of dimes in there.
No, not the tight gym shorts with the socks that come up to your knees. No, they didn't have that.
So just to catch up on the chat here. Hey, we got Primal Productions just joined in. It said, hi, Papa. Hey, Boogs. What's up, dude? Glad you could join.
Primal Productions. Is that is that Aiden?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a big Godzilla versus Kong, and who's going to win, the thermonuclear Godzilla, and I'm sure he's going to say I'm getting it all wrong, but
oh yeah,
he puts out a lot of good content. So
okay,
people get a chance, follow Primal Productions on TikTok.
On the TikToks, huh?
Oh yeah, man.
Okay,
dude, I'll get on his TikToks whenever he'll post stuff, and he'll do like who's going to win, Godzilla X or whatever versus, and he'll put polls and all this crap. And dude, he'll get 300, 500 comments, and it'll be, there's no way Godzilla 1982 could be, the thermonuclear, and these people just go back and forth on the whole deal. It's pretty crazy.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, and hey, I just figured it out, man. It's not really over until Lizzo sings Slim Shady. Dustin Connor commented.
So is that I would assume that's a line in one of a.
Oh, because Fat Lady sings. Did Eminem say that? Did he say it's not over until Lizzo sings?
I guess we'll find out.
I need you to look this
in a
up.
sec.
Yeah. Can you look that up? I need to know now.
Mama Llama's not getting the option to gift super chat for some reason.
Okay. Well, this is all a test run, so we'll have to keep Melody giving a super chat is like whenever my band plays and Victoria will walk up, she'll grab like $20 out of my wallet and she'll go put it in our tip jar. And I'm like, Victoria, we are now less money because you put that in the tip jar.
Well, I've given money to Dirty and Driven before.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I guess somebody else needs to.
Yeah. Make it look good.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang. Well, what's up, YouTube? We're going to work on this whole donation thing. I don't know. That again, this is all test run. First time we're doing this. So we'll get better at it. But we are going to start doing this every episode. I think it's pretty cool. There's a lot of people that want to like talk to us while we're doing it. And a lot of people that will old DC says that Eminem's new album is not PC. So that's cool. But there's a lot of people that are always like trying to conversate with us, after they listen to it, whenever they do in the audio streams.
Yeah.
So us going live, this kind of gives people the opportunity to kind of hit us up. So
I got to admit, man, I've got a little bit of a stage fright right now, and it kind of crawled back up inside of itself a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just different, man.
Yeah, man. it's weird how, normally it hangs low and to the left, but right now it's all just kind of.
Yeah.
So
Well,
back in.
it'll get like any of our other podcasts. We'll stop even realizing that this is here until the end,
Yeah. I'll let you know if it, kind of becomes an Audi again.
Yeah. The cool thing about the YouTube Live is now it'll actually maybe motivate us to decorate the studio.
These angles right now ain't too bad.
Oh, the angles are fine.
Yeah.
There's just nothing on the walls. Still a little messy in here.
Yeah.
You know how it be. Well, dude, you're going on your cruise this week. So you got on Ozempic for a few weeks, didn't you?
It was a mail order Ozempic. Never came in.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
You've had to do it the old-fashioned way?
Yeah, I'm going to have to do it with hard work instead of relying on medication.
I got you.
And I had good intentions, a month ago, 3 weeks ago. But, I'm very bad with being disciplined.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, you've lost a good bit of weight, though, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm kind of teetering.
Well,
I think a lot of it's water weight.
Didn't you say you lost like 15 or 20 pounds?
Yeah, I did, but I probably gained about 5 or so back. But one thing, it's kind of funny. When somebody weighs a morbid amount like I do, when you start getting up to the I don't weigh 250, but when you get up to the 250s or 300s, 350s, to lose 30 pounds, if you're 300 pounds, that's 10%, but 30 pounds is nothing for a 300 pounder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but still.
But what I'm getting at is, in less than a week before I go on this deal, I can drop 10 pounds easy. Some of it water weight, but just easy by just kind of watching what I eat, drinking more water, being a little active. It's easy to drop that amount being a bigger person.
Yeah.
Compared to if you're $130.
Yeah.
Trying to drop 10 pounds, right? Percentage wise.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at was, yeah.
Well, but still, you lose 15. Like, if I lost 15 pounds, I'd wither away. Like, I would literally disintegrate and turn to dust. I would be a walking skeleton with skin.
You could lose 15 pounds in your ass.
Well, I guess that's true. I got that caboose, boy. No, man, but well, and it's like you said, man. Sometimes all you got to do is just, drink a little more water and watch what you eat a little bit, eat maybe a little less if that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
And then you can drop 15 pounds pretty quick, but no, dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
Dude, I've made the mistakes the last few nights, gotten off work, had a few drinks, wind down. We got the grandkids at the house, and my wife had food laid out, and it's one of those, the kids have a little bit of food left here, and you can't really, can't throw that away, and we don't want to put that in Tupperware, you know what I mean? It's just a little bit, so it's just, fuck it, a little buzzed up, might as well just throw her down, so.
Nom.
And I did, dude. Last night, man, it was chili dogs. It wasn't the Bar S chili, but it was chili dogs with, there was just enough chili left to where, you can't. All right, so then some mac and cheese, shells and cheese, and some beef hot dogs, man.
Did you wash it down with any hot dog chili?
No, the hot dog chili is gone.
Oh, okay.
But I do want to get a bunch more of that hot dog chili.
It was that good, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm serious. It's my favorite chili right now.
Really?
Yes, for that purpose.
Okay.
For that purpose, some type of chili, not like a good bean onion type of chili,
but for hot dogs.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
For that type of purpose.
Yeah, okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. I've never, because I love chili, man. I can eat the crap out of chili, and I like that was in like an individual package.
Did you know that back during my my beer songwriting days, our buddy Debo, the one that's on the chat here, he came up with an idea, and I ended up writing a song about it. And I've got all the lyrics written out. I need to show it to you sometime. But the song is called "The Chilly Wind." But it was kind of what's that called when you think it's one thing but it's really another?
When you think it's one thing but it's
and
really
I'll explain it to you. And maybe there's a term for it. But the idea with the Chilly Wind, the Chilly Wind song was, that wind's chilly, right?
Oh, but it kind of like a satirical.
Yes. So yeah, there's a term for it. So the idea was, guy saves up his money, and at the end of the week he's going to the county fair. So he's basically going over to the Blackwell County Fair. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when he goes over there, It's that damned old chilly wind. And here's the verse. This is how it goes, the lyrics. It goes, it's not the wind. It's not the kind you think about. This is the chilly wind. Listen to this. It's not the kind you think about that blows across the plains, but another kind with spices, meats, and beans. The da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's that damned old chilly wind. So it's talking about he smells chili at the county fair. And that's the breeze that he gets a whiff of, is the chilly wind in the air, not the cold wind.
I got you.
Ain't that a great idea that should be a fading fast. Seriously, dude, y'all ought to cover that.
Yeah, you think that we should?
You know what I thought?
Is it a good rock song?
You can rock it out.
Can you make it sound like Stained or something like that?
Yeah, but Stained has heavy stuff, but they got a lot of slower stuff too.
Well, they do. But I mean, that's just, that kind of.
Yeah, what I was thinking that what would be great for Fading Fast to do to kind of venture out and maybe get more broadened.
Yeah.
Is to take Don't Hand Me That Beer or a couple other my beer songs, Brew with Rocky Mountain Spring Water, and you all do them at your concerts. Do my beer songs at your concerts.
We'd have to definitely less countrify them.
Yeah, you could. Well, that one's kind of bluesy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I Need Another Beer.
That'd be cool. We'll just steal it and then we'll make it mega famous. I'm going to take this role out of Elvis's book. We'll take you're not a minority. But, Elvis would go and he'd steal people's songs, especially Elvis would do it a lot too, like black singer-songwriters and stuff. And then he would take their song and then he would play it and it'd go mega famous. Well, they couldn't sue him or anything because they had no proof it was their song,
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I'll do that to you. And then
that's fine.
That's fine.
I mean, just take the reins, man. Go with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I told that to a buddy of mine a couple weeks ago. He sent me this song. He goes, this is a song that, he said it's literally about mine and my wife's marriage or something like that. And he sang it and sent me an audio message of it. And I was like, dude, I'm going to rip that song off. Like I said, for real, like I could see us doing that song. Like, that's so cool, man. Da, 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 da. And he goes, oh yeah, well, here's the actual song. And then he sends me a YouTube link to like some, unknown artist that wrote the song. I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm not going to do the song.
Yeah.
I thought it was your song that you wrote. That'd be cool.
I looked up Fading Fast on is either my Instagram editing app or the what's it called? CapCut, the CapCut app. Because I was wanting to use the Fading Fast in the background for Osiris.
Yeah.
On the deal.
Mm-hmm.
For a minute and a half clip. But I typed in Fading Fast and there was a bunch of other Fading Fast stuff, but there wasn't the Fading Fast y'all's group.
I think you got to go to make the video and then put it into TikTok. That's how CapCut doesn't have a lot of the licensed music in it. It's got the weird music.
Okay. Well, so I did do a TikTok with that one Osiris deal, but what I'll do is I'll go in from here on out, at least on my TikToks, the ones where I do have the Fading Fast option.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw Osiris's bio, but he comes from lineage Osiris of the Osage.
Yeah.
He has lineage, from Africa.
Yeah.
And it pretty much wraps up. He likes slow walks and fast music.
Okay.
That's part of his bio.
Yeah, he could sing Double It Up.
Yeah. So how do you like that, man? I mean, is that not great? A turtle that is just real methodic and slow, but he listens to fast music. It's like
he's just listening to Tool.
Yeah, it's just a fucking perfect balance.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to who was it here? Shout out to Bianca listening. And hi, Olivia and JC also.
Yeah, heck yeah. We got a good little comment thread going here.
Hey, what?
Your wife says that your chili wind smells funny. I believe her.
Chili bag.
Dustin says that it was his idea. He wants a third of the cut whenever we cover it.
Thanks, Boogs. Boogs corrected me. He corrected me, and it is cap cut. So
yep.
Yeah, Debo needs a third if the chili wind makes it big. He needs a third of the cut.
Yeah,
on the money.
Absolutely.
So y'all will get a third. I'll get a third, and then he'll get a third for the idea.
There you go. Maybe we'll make something on music one day.
There you go, man.
Speaking of Fading Fast, that's today's show sponsor is Fading Fast. So I think by the time this comes out, we'll have already played our show that we got coming up. But if you're listening live, we've got a show this weekend, 19th and 20th at the Hub, 9 to midnight, both nights. And then our next show after that, as of now, is August 3rd in Oklahoma City at Core 4 Brewing. So
Damn.
if you're in the Oklahoma City area, hit us up on August 3rd, man.
And this is the first time y'all been in OKC, huh?
Yes. We did one in Tulsa. We just did one in Medicine Park. So this will be our first OKC gig. So I'm pretty excited about it.
They ought to have a spot at the hub in the back where y'all play music, and the place is called Deep. That way you go hub deep.
There you go.
You ever heard about going hub deep?
Nope.
All right, just use your imagination.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Your wife says the girls want to shout out.
I just did.
Did you? Oh, okay. Maybe that comment's delayed.
Shout out to Bianca, Olivia, JC,
Maddie.
Oh, Nikki and Maddie. How could I forget my two sweet little granddaughters? I was thinking of the other ones.
All the other ones. Everyone but them.
Yeah, and Ginger too, the golden doodle.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which,
and Caesar.
Shout out Colton McCormack. He left us a $50 tip in the tip jar last week. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, dude. So
all that certified wrench podcast money.
Yeah, all that certified wrench podcast money coming in. And we appreciate that, man. His comment was that he loves us as much as he loves Guns N' Roses. I won't leave. I will leave off the rest of that.
I was going to try to say facetious. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Well, the follow-up comment was, and I fucking hate Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
So thanks, Colton. We appreciate that, buddy.
But he's a big Luke Bryan fan and Kenny Chesney.
Yes, he loves Kenny Chesney and Luke Bryan. I think that's more his speed. Dude.
I saw on Colton's certified wrench page that he's taking a hiatus.
Yes, so he's taking a hiatus. So
everything
if you're
okay?
I guess he's just busy.
Okay.
I guess. No, he's taken some hiatuses before. But if you're a normal listener of the Certified Wrench podcast, please direct all normal listens, downloads, and monetary donations to the Dirty and Driven podcast and the Slow Times.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah. We will be your official Certified Wrench replacement for the next few weeks.
If we see an uptick in donations, we'll know, obviously, the reasoning behind it.
Yeah. A bunch of mechanics, man, starting to come at us. That'd be cool. So, that's definitely, that's cool, man. We appreciate you doing that. Dude, you made the front page of the paper. The Newkirk America paper. Yeah,
the Newkirk Herald Journal.
Yeah.
Can't talk, man. I've had a few of these.
Town of
first form.
1,500 people. Maybe.
Good town, though, man.
Dude, these comments are wild. No, yeah, you made the paper for your deal in Twister. So I'm pretty pumped about you getting on there, man. That's cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
The editor had found out that I did a little work on the original Twister, and he was putting together a story because if people didn't know, Ponca City area was kind of the home area for the original Twister, and he wrote a piece on it. He was putting a piece together for doing a little flashback because of the new movie coming out.
Keikie's Left Hand on YouTube. That's a wild name, man. Keikie's Left Hand.
Well, it's
that's Dustin, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Somebody.
That's funny.
So my nickname is Keiki every now and then.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, I saw that. I was done. But yeah, so you did the Twister special effect. That was episode 12, 11?
Yeah,
the
one of the first ones. Yeah.
That was one of them. That was before you were co-host.
Yeah.
You were just a guest at that point.
That was my, not coming out party, but that was the one, whenever I did that one, that was when James was like, dude, I got to get this guy on board.
Yeah. That was the one where you came and I was like, man, that was fun. And I was like, shit, you want to do it again? You're like, yeah.
Shit thing was I blew my wad. I did all my home run stories because I thought it was only going to be a one hitter. So I put them all in one deal. And
yeah, now here you are.
Now I'm just making shit up.
Boring people for hours every week.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of hours just boring people.
Yeah, so anyway, the editor reached out to me and told him my story, and he put it on the front page of the Newkirk Herald, and also the same stories that he puts out for Newkirk must go to the Cali County paper also, because it was in Ark City's Cali County paper also.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much the same story. And he gave one girl a little bit of story time on his write up, but then, man, the rest of the whole deal was my whole experience. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat, man. Yeah, it's cool. And you definitely heard the story of, or you realize what happens whenever you get your stuff into print.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you tell them all this stuff and give them all this info, and then they write like half of it being what you actually said, and then the rest was embellishments and things like that. That you're like, huh.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of, as we talked about before, the old telephone game, or things getting lost in translation. Because I think when I told the editor my story and everything I went through, he just kind of took cliff notes, and I don't even know if he actually recorded the audio of our conversation, because when it went to print, it factually correct or everything was probably 85 to 90%. It was still great, but it could have been cleaned up a lot more. And you can just see how just one time removed from the conversation, how it gets off a hair. Then you can imagine if it was oral tradition or whatever, 2 or 3 or 4 times, it'd be a totally different deal.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes they do it because, one, like I got like a 2-page article in a big scuba diving magazine, and it's actually been in multiple, but it was in like the big one, like Scuba Diving Magazine is what it's called, and it was like 2 pages. The first time I'd ever been in press and print, and dude, I was feeling great. I wrote this big long write up. It probably was 3 pages where they condensed it down, and dude, they condensed it, they embellished it, they did all the stuff. By the time I actually read it, I was like, man, that's not really what I said. And then, you know, my parents were reading it and they're like, why'd you say this about us? Or why'd you say that? I was like, I didn't. You know?
Yeah.
It just, but that's what they put.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and also you think about it too, who's really, when it comes down to it, factually correct or not, who's really going to call them out on the unfactual write-up? Because mine was back in, it was the summer of 94. It was right when I graduated high school when I worked on it. So however many, that's 30 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
So no, dude, this is wrong, man. Casey didn't do that. You know, they can't, it's going to be tough to call BS on the story that happened 30 years ago.
Well, even other times whenever I've been in there, like for more recent stuff, it's, you know, you read stuff and it's just, they interpret it a totally different way than what you say. And it makes you realize that, oh man, a lot of times like the stuff we see in the news, you know, everybody says the fake news and all this, that, the other. Well, people just interpret and hear things different and they report on what they want to say. You know, and I'm sure that that's like that on a small scale. I mean, in the Ponca City newspaper, or, you know, in the Scuba Diving Magazine or some of these other newspapers, you know, locally around here. And then you look at it on a grander, more political scale and you're like, damn, dude, this is happening. Like, there's a lot of things that somebody's opinion or viewpoint or what they're trying to accomplish is actually this, but the news article says this.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that. My brother and I had the same instance whenever we were putting together my dad's obituary. We were trying to get the timeline of when he was in the Navy. He was in the Navy for 5 years, then the Army Reserves for 26. But we were trying to get the dates, and him and I were going back and forth trying to get it figured out. Then finally we said, dude, really, who's going to effing call us out on this thing if we get the date wrong off by 1 year or 2? Because you know what I mean? It's like, does it really matter?
It's like the Family Guy bit where he's like, he goes, it's like whenever Mr. Petersmith tries to tell me a story and he's trying to recall date. He's like, 1978 or was it 79? Might have been 80. And Peter's like, oh my God, get on with the story. And he goes, 81. And Peter goes, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's a little off.
Yeah.
Trying to catch up on some of these comments from our
today. Okay.
From our listeners.
Yeah, dude, there's plenty of them talking shit in here. You know what? They ain't worth nothing out there, these comments talking shit like that.
That old Debo, man. We're going to have to clap back at him, ain't we?
Oh, yeah. Dude, while we talked about fitness a little bit earlier, I just want to say, shout out. There's been a lot of listeners lately, man, that have been sending me messages just saying, hey, I've started running again. I've started doing this again. I've started working out again. Or, hey, I've been running the last few weeks and I've got my time down to this. And man, I just want to say that's awesome. And I'm really happy to see people that are around us and in our industry, in our fields, listening to the podcast and interacting with us on social media, trying to make positive changes in their lives. I think that that's the coolest thing ever, man. I mean, no matter where you're at. And one thing I hate is people be like, this may not be impressive to you, but I just ran a mile for the first time in 10 years. I'm like, no, dude, that's impressive to me.
That's big time impressive.
That's big time.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you for doing that. And even just for trying.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you're doing that. And I hope that you stick with it. So if you're out there and you're trying to do that, and even if you've been hit or miss, inconsistent with it, man, just know that anytime you get out there and do something hard, I'm rooting for you.
Well, by God. Oh,
no, wait.
You said that
show's not over yet.
It's not over yet. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're talking about our boy Relo. Is that one of them?
Relo is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's been putting in work, man.
Yeah, he has.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been real happy with him and several others, man. Like I had two people that I've started kind of being friends with lately, and their daughter decided she was going to run a mile without stopping at school. She's, I think, 9 or 10. And then they decided that night, I'm going to run a mile too. I haven't ran a mile in so long. And they posted about it and they were telling me about it. I'm like, dude, that's so freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy to hear that you guys are doing that. That really, that pumps me up to no end to see people doing that.
Well, man, just moving. Obviously, I know I need to move more, but it's crazy how if you lounge around or sit around or lay around, how your body will actually start hurting after an amount of time if you're immobile.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do, if you can, is to start moving around. I mean, you'll feel that much better.
Yeah, and even like you telling me, yeah, I lost a little bit of weight going on this cruise, so you wouldn't look like a beluga whale in the middle of the ocean, you know? Like, okay, you're not going and like getting in the gym and you're not counting your calories and all that, but you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And you're conscientious of it and you're making small changes.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, small changes. That's all it takes, man. Small changes over time.
I'd like to think that you could think skinny. Come on, think skinny. And if you thought really hard skinny, then you would lose weight if you just thought really hard about it.
If you think really hard.
Yeah.
And you take Ozempic. Cock and pains will make you what you ain't, so will Ozempic and TRT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I need to get my test levels checked.
Got that low T?
Low T, man. Hold on. Hey, it's not an innie anymore. It's my stage fright is. It's not an innie anymore. I might not need that. Might not need that testosterone shot now.
Need to call those radio commercials, the men's clinics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Dude, there are so many people nowadays that you didn't really realize the ones that obviously look good. I mean, a lot of the influencers and the big money people.
Yeah.
Who are on that T.
Yeah. Oh, I know a lot of people on it. I couldn't believe it. My singer had made a comment about it one day. We were at a bar and he goes, dude, there's so many dudes here that are just jacked up on TRT that know nothing about dieting and proper lifting. And I was like, how do you know they're on TRT? And he's like, dude, I just know. This was like a year and a half ago. And like ever since he said that, dude, it's like I've started noticing and learning more people doing it. And I was like, I mean, which like, okay, there's plenty of people that it's good for them to be on it. And then there's people that are like 20 years old who just want to get jacked at the gym. You know what I'm saying? So there's different.
Well, supposedly if you start putting in the work and working out, then your testosterone levels will increase.
Yeah.
If you do that without getting on it, right? But you know, as they say, as men get older, and I don't know if it's a good sales tactic or not, but after the age of 30, men lose whatever 3%, whatever it is, a year. So,
well, and you know, having a dad bod's cool until your wife's mad at you, and then you're just a fat fuck.
Well, fortunately, I haven't heard that yet. So
not yet.
I haven't been called a fat fuck yet from my wife, at least not to my face.
No, I'll call you one.
You can call me whatever you want. Call me Al.
Just not late for dinner, huh? Oh man,
catch up on some of these comments.
Yeah, they're just talking crap on us. You know what was funny, dude, is there's this little kid. I've been selling a bunch of stuff on Facebook lately, and after this we can get into our topic. But I've been selling a bunch of like instruments and stuff like that on Facebook, and there's this one kid, he's 14 or 15, and he goes to our church. And he was telling my wife, he goes, I really didn't like you for a while. And now that I've gotten to know you, I think you're pretty cool. She's like, why? And he goes, because before you moved in, James had this really cool dining room, man cave thingy with guitars all over the walls. And I just knew that once he got married, it was all going to have to go.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, it's still there. And like, she showed him some pictures and stuff. He's like, that's pretty cool. And so I thought that was there was a few people who thought I was having a midlife crisis selling a bunch of guitars off, but I just had too many.
That, or I think you might have had the old talk too, that it was time to thin the herd.
Nah, there's just a lot that don't play.
Did you see my one comment though? I think on your mom's post, 'cause it was one of the guitars that you're trying to sell. And I didn't know if y'all were getting ready for a baby room. That's why you're getting rid of all the guitars.
No, they're all in our dining room, or what would be a dining room to a normal person.
That's where we first recorded.
Yeah. That was the OG podcast studio, man.
That's right. Did you get rid of the American flag guitar?
I did.
Fuck. That'd have been a good one for the studio, man.
It didn't plug in though.
Yeah.
Oh,
speaking of, I bought those little pickups, like for anybody listening, guitar pickups that you can actually easily put into your hole on your acoustic guitar. Any of them, they literally just slide. You can slide it under the strings and kind of tighten it down, and it sits there. But then it has an 1/8 inch jack that goes to a 1/4 inch jack, 1/4 inch female jack that you can plug into your amp. So I've done that with my little travel guitar now. I bought 2 of them, and dude, they're only like $15 or $18 for these little pickups.
okay.
To where it'll make your acoustic electric for $15 or $18. And like I said, you don't have to take the strings off. You can literally slide it under the strings, and it sits there, and it sounds damn good. Run it through your amp.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought about that, but I went ahead and offloaded it.
Yeah.
I got the money. I got more than I paid for it, so
Yeah.
it was a good deal.
$30.
I think I paid like 70. I got 100 for it, so it was
Hell
a good
yeah.
deal. American flag guitar. Could have been a family heirloom though.
Hey, if anybody is looking to get into music, like a guitar or something, you can get a lot of guitars on Marketplace, whatever, for literally people will give you musical instruments. I mean, you can pick up a decent one for $30, an acoustic guitar, or even electric, and a small amp for maybe 100 total.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you ever thought about getting into music and playing, man, it's there.
When you think about how many people buy stuff and then they might buy it for their kid, and they get a decent one, a cheaper one, but they might say, well, I got a budget of like $200 to buy a guitar for little Timmy for Christmas, and they buy it, and their kid never plays it, and it's like, man, I'm so tired of looking at this in my house, and they just post it for $100 or $50. Just get rid of it. A lot of people do that.
It's tough for me to get rid of stuff. That's why I'm turning into my dad with just collecting junk.
I've gotten better at it lately, and part of that is Victoria hates clutter. And in fact, we just hired a lady that talk about freaking middle-class privilege. We hired a lady to come in, a professional organizer, to organize our house.
So she's not didn't y'all hire a feng shui person?
Feng shui?
Do you know what feng shui is?
No.
They have feng shui people that you can literally hire that'll come in and they'll pretty much look at the aura of the house. Oh, that picture over there or that statue over there, that's giving me bad vibes for this house. And they'll point and click. They'll tell you what to add or what not to add to make the house more of an inviting, wholesome space. I figured y'all be hiring. That's the next hire that you're doing.
Yeah.
But don't make it a feng shui DEI hire, okay? Because it might work opposite for you. You might end up like having some aborigines or apparitions, not aborigines. You might have some like ghosts and bad spirits come if you hire the DEI feng shui person.
Yeah, you don't want the DEI or the DIY. No, it was a professional organizer. It's kind of a cool deal though. It's not super expensive, but I thought it was going to be really stupid. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. But sometimes you do things to, hey, baby, if that's going to make you happy, then whatever you want, It ain't affecting my life really. And that's kind of what this was. So getting the kitchen cleaned up, it kind of just motivated me to, that we got, like, now that this looks nice, there's some other rooms that maybe don't look as nice. And so I'll start getting rid of some crap. That's kind of where I was at.
One foot in front of the other.
Yep. That, and if I sell a lot of that stuff, then I don't have to feel so bad about spending money on podcast studio or band stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
speaking of DEI hire, did you the attempted assassination on 45, 47 yesterday? Did you see the
meme, the DEI hire meme?
Yeah,
the CIA did a DEI hire.
Yeah, the Secret Service females whenever Trump was getting shot at.
Yeah,
and they were ducking this and that instead of being a human. For one, it's a 5-foot lady around a 6 foot whatever president. That for one, even with her standing, she can't shield him. And then one or two of them were ducking down around. Then by the time they got him to the car to get him out of there, they had their guns drawn and they were fumbling around and they were it was just a clusterfuck, man. And people were saying this is what happens when you do a DEI hire. That is like the worst DEI hire is to protect a president. Yeah. Well, we got to check this box, man.
I think the CIA did a DEI hire on the shooter.
Who knows when this is coming out, man? Obviously, there's more stuff coming out, but there's a lot.
By the time it comes out, there's a lot of weird things about that situation. And I will say, dude, whenever I run for governor, because I'm serious about running for governor, I really am. I've actually been in legitimate conversations with high up people about running for governor. Not for a long time. I mean, like I said, like 20, I think 22 years would be about the term I'm shooting for. But I think that'd be a really good marketing ploy, one of my speeches or something, whenever I'm campaigning, get shot at.
Yeah. And by the time you run for governor, there'll only be our country won't be North and South. It'll be like the patriots, the constitutional patriots, and then the liberal lefties. That'll be the two. So who knows if this will even be a state or what it's going to be by the time you run.
Yeah.
Who knows if governors are going to be around then.
Assuming we still have a similar political structure, then yeah.
Yeah, a lot can happen.
If not, I guess I could just be warlord. Supreme warlord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. You could be my vice warlord.
What'd you say, 20 years?
Yeah, 22, I think. That'd be the term coming up whenever I'd be running for governor.
Yeah, I'd be 68 then.
Yeah, you could be vice warlord, or maybe you could just be another part.
I could be 68, so that means I could be part of the Congress.
Yeah, you could be the dementiated. He could be my dementiated co-captain.
Yeah, Casey shits his pants Anderson.
Yeah. The guy that you might kill someone, but then just totally forget about it. So yeah, that's a good plan. Oh, well, he didn't mean to do that. He's just a dementiated old man.
Need to catch up on these comments here.
Yeah.
James, smart move, happy wife, happy life. Thanks, Mama Llama.
Did I tell you about the story about my buddy Alan going to AutoZone? Did I say that on last week's show? I don't think I did.
No, let's hear it again because I remember something about Alan, but I don't.
Well, he was telling me a story about, the importance of being nice to people, especially in our industry, stuff like that. Everybody's assholes, stuff like that. And he was telling me a story about how he had to change some parts out on his truck. Well, he calls AutoZone. Hey, do you guys have these parts? And he said the lady was real short with him and real rude on the phone. Just, almost less than helpful kind of thing. And he was like, hey, whatever. All right, have a great day. He goes into the store and she's working and she's still just acting like that. And he looks at her and he goes, hey, are you all right? She was like taken aback. She goes, what? And he goes, you seem like you're having a bad day. And she was like, yeah, I actually am. And she talked to him for a minute and he talked to her and he just genuinely cared for a moment, you know, 5-10 minutes, just kind of heard what she had to say. And then she was more than happy to help him. And then she gave him a 15% discount.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool, man.
That's awesome. That's sometimes someone needs someone, just someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And probably totally changed her trajectory of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From being shitty to, man, actually someone, life's going to be all right.
Yeah. That's what you can hope for. So I thought that was a cool story. One we're sharing.
And I've got kind of a cool story that I want to talk to you about yesterday. This is pretty big, man. Pretty big for me, and pretty big for the person associated with. And I know it is, but the older I've gotten, I don't know if it's wisdom or what, but I kind of look back, my faultier younger years and the errors of my ways and whatever. And back when I was in junior high and high school, I was kind of jockish or whatever, but I hung out with everybody. But there were certain kids in certain classes that weren't really part of the crowd that I was in.
Yeah.
And there were times that, I'd kind of big dog, not give them the time of day. I would pretty much just be an asshole to some of these kids in my class that didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
So, I've had this one guy in mind that I went to school with and I graduated with him, but it's been on my mind ever since pretty much I graduated, and I've thought about just how I treated people back then. And anyway, I looked him up the other day on Facebook, and I reached out to him. And this is one of the guys that I was a dick to, and I reached out to him, and he messaged me back and I said, "Hey, is this so and so from 1994?" He goes, "Yeah, yes it is." And I pretty much did a long write up. So, hey man, I just want to let you know. Ever since I graduated and the older I've got, I've kind of looked back on my life and, I realized how big of a dick I was to you and others. And I just want to let you know, check this out, that you didn't deserve it. There was no need for me to be the way that I was. And, I just want to get this off my chest. Hopefully you accept my apology. And I hadn't talked to this guy since I graduated 30 years ago.
Wasn't this an Adam Sandler movie?
Dude, I don't know. But let me finish this deal. So anyway, so he replied back, said, "Oh man, he goes, no hard feelings, man." He said, I do recall you towards the end of the school year, you kind of stopped being that way. You actually reached out to me and you were being a lot cooler with me. I said, "Yeah, dude." Cause I remember that also, but it's still, I remembered how, we make mistakes and, we treat people certain ways that maybe was unjust or judge people certain ways. But anyway, him and I messaged back and forth for quite a while, and it ended up being a good conversation, good closure, a little bit on my part, but even for him, I think it turned out pretty good for him.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's positive, dude. That's great. It's like going through AA.
Yeah, we can lighthearten this if we want. But
yeah.
Anyway,
no, actually, I wanted to. So I named this on YouTube. Why Everybody at Work Hates You, I think is the title. I just kind of had to throw in a random title, but I thought it was pretty cool. I've had several people who listen to the show hit me up lately, and they've made a comment about I got promoted. I've had like 3 people in the last week tell me this. Like, I've got promoted and at work to like foreman or, kind of an assistant management or lead guy position is what these individuals were doing. And basically their deal was nobody takes me seriously or nobody likes me anymore because now I'm a boss. And I actually made a comment to one of them and I said, now that you're an M-word, a filthy M-word manager, I hate you. So that's kind of a real deal, man. Whenever you make that transition, it's a hard transition to make because, one day you're
an equal,
and the next day you're now manager.
Yeah.
And, and whenever I say manager, I mean foreman, superintendent, assistant superintendent, lead guy, that vein of things, you're in a leadership role is kind of what I mean. So that's what the manager is going to kind of mean in this. But I've been in that situation at work. You ever kind of been there in any of the jobs you've been where you got like promoted there? Or?
No, I've never been promoted.
Okay.
I mean, no, but along the same line, we had the same issue out where I work. You have everybody, especially across the fence, you have union. And then anybody who becomes a supervisor or a manager over certain units and stuff, they're not unionized anymore. They're on the other side of the fence. So literally they can be the same working guy, but then they get promoted to a boss. And when they get promoted to a boss, now they're not part of the union. So then it's almost like, hey, I don't have to do what you say, but dude, I'm your boss. No, got my backing, union backing. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, good luck getting people to do crap, you know?
Dude, I hate that mentality. And I've never worked around union people, so I can't really speak to that side of the aisle. I don't know enough about it, but I do know that that's kind of how unions can be sometimes.
I do know, and here's me hedging. I do know that unions do have their benefits too.
Yeah.
Because the wrongful shit, or if somebody gets hired, moves up before, it's an equal playing field. But then again, here's me hedging back and forth. You know, it could be an equal playing field to where a DEI hire over here gets paid the same or whatever for doing minimal work, and you're the one doing all the work. But since they're part of the same, it's just,
yeah, unions have that issue a lot of times, and like anything, you know, there's good unions and there's bad unions. Oh, lost my camera. And I don't know. I mean, it happens, but besides that, you know, anyways, back to what we were talking about. Everything just went black. What in the world?
It looks like Keki's left hand was winning the vote.
Yeah, that's winning the poll. We put a poll out in the comments. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, believe it or not, I am left-handed throwing.
Really?
And bowling, I guess, shot putting.
Shot put.
And actually casting a rod and reel.
Yeah, if you're not here on the live YouTube, you're missing out on some fun camaraderie, if you will. But anyway, here's the cameras.
We just went black on the live.
Yeah, we're here. That's what I just said.
Oh,
do you even listen to me anymore?
No, but that's how long it took to. I thought it went dark on the comments.
No, the live went black, but we're back up now. It just we had a little. I think the Wi-Fi did something funky or something like that. But anyways, back to what we were actually talking about. No, that is something that I've definitely been through, because, you know, I was basically an asphalt crew laborer, and then I left and I came back. And whenever I came back, I was now a manager. And that was a weird shift. And it's still weird even a few years later, because, you know, a lot of these guys I'd worked with for years out on the crew, shoveling asphalt, doing the hard grunt stuff, joking around, wrestling in ditches, all that stuff. And now I've got to actually, like, you know, enforce some rules and make decisions and things like that. And it is kind of weird, but I think the best advice that I can give somebody on that is, one, don't overthink your position. I mean, yes, you are a manager. Yes, you are a leader, and you need people to follow you, and you need to be a good leader. But I think I've seen people get promoted to like a foreman role, and then in my personal experience, I've seen two different things happen whenever people get promoted to like that foreman middle level management role. Not like, you know, climbing the ladder up to the top, but just like they go from being not a leader to a leader on paper. For one, I think the best thing you can do before this happens is act like you're in that role already. If you want to be in that role, you got to act like it before you got the title and before you got the pay for it, because you have to prove that you can do that and be in that position. But anyways, after it happens, there's two different things that happen. One, people are too soft because they want everybody to like them. Or two, they get too strict and become total assholes and everybody hates them. And where do you draw the line there? And it's somewhere in the middle. And you've got to learn from experience, making your own mistakes, and you've got to hopefully find somebody in your company, in your crew, in your wheelhouse, or even somebody like us, you know what I'm saying, that you can call and you can hit up and you can talk these things through with someone who's in a position that you're in that's been there longer, that you can kind of get some feedback off of. Because, you know, the worst is like if everybody's buddy with you and you say, hey, you need to go sweep the floor of the shop, and they go, fuck you. What do you do?
Yeah.
That's a tough spot to be in, you know? And you can stand up and you can get in their face and you're going to say, I'm your boss. You're going to do this. And that's sometimes what you got to do. Or you just kind of laugh it off and, oh, okay, well, you know, but that's not the answer either. So that's a hard line to be in. And it takes time, I think, because people got to get used to it, because it's awkward for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like using your left hand instead of your right hand.
Bringing in the stranger.
Yeah.
No, I think a good analogy with that is kind of like with a parent, with your kids, are you their friend or are you their parent?
Mm-hmm.
And the same also is if you're a new hire coming into a position. Now, granted, this ain't a leadership role, but just also if you're a new hire, when you walk in, it's kind of like the honeymoon period to where you got to watch your P's and Q's. And then once you get comfortable and learn kind of how the system goes, then you could probably start projecting your voice a little bit more and maybe be heard stepping out, because you don't want to come in guns a-blazing when you first get hired on, because people be like,
yeah,
you have a dark cloud on you. Well, and the same is with if you are somebody's peer in the same level as them, then you get promoted. Now you're their boss. The same type of deal. This is just me thinking out loud. You'll have your honeymoon period as a boss.
Yeah.
Because obviously you just work with these guys. Now you're the boss. Honeymoon period, then kind of get your toe wet a little bit, then kind of start figuring out how you can start implementing things without, causing a big stir.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens a lot of times. The honeymoon period you're talking about, it's, James is the boss.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. We can do whatever we want. You know what I'm saying? We can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And you got to let that not happen. And yeah, dude, it's a tough one to be in. For me, the biggest thing that helped getting into leadership roles is honestly, dude, distance. Getting away, because it's so easy to go. You have your people that you complain to and you talk shit and you gossip with. Like, dude, no one is bigger drama queens and gossips than a bunch of dudes at 6:30 in the morning before the shift starts. You know what I'm saying? They're always, talking shit about each other and oh yeah, did you hear that so and so this and that?
Or kind of like you and I before we start recording.
Yeah, you have your BS and most of it's untrue. You're just venting. And if you keep partaking in some of that stuff, then again, people don't take you serious. And then now that you're in a leadership role, like if you have somebody under you that's struggling something, well, you're used to shit talking that guy because he was your equal and you didn't know he's struggling with this thing. And now you're used to roasting him to your buddies. Well, now you got to kind of step back from doing that kind of stuff. And you can't vent to your buddies like that, because now you know what's going on in this guy's head. And you got to actually, keep it from getting worse.
Yeah.
I
think if you're a good leader, and you have people that trust in you and will go to bat for you and all that type of stuff, then you don't have to micromanage them whatsoever. I've mentioned to you before, I had a perfect example. I had this one safety guy that was over us when I was on the safety team out where I work. And dude, he was such a great leader that he didn't lead with an iron fist. Anytime you came up with an idea or whatever, it was very genuine and you felt like doing stuff. He's like, hell yeah, man. And he'd give you, whether you needed a shout out or kudos or not, you wanted to go to bat. You literally wanted to, not war, but you wanted to go to war for this guy because he was that type of guy that had your back. Great leader. And he didn't need to do whatever. And you wanted to do good for this guy, put in the work. Then when he got out and he got replaced with a different one that shot down all your ideas, shook it. No, we've already looked into that. Management's already, that ain't going to happen. Everything you do, they just keep shooting down and finally got to where you just hung your head down and you stopped producing.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to not bring ideas forward because they're shooting you down. Yeah. And actually something I do is I at least listen, and or I give them a good reason as to, well, okay, because you get a lot of new people that come in, and this is a very common thing in any industry you work in. You get a lot of new people come in, they start saying, well, how come we don't do it this way? Because this seems so obvious. And they've been there like 2 weeks. And a lot of times that's just education, because it's a very common question that something looks like it should be done this way, but we do it this way. But there's actually very good explanation as to why you can't do it this way.
Right.
And you don't want to just shoot them down, make them feel like an idiot. But you say, well, I understand why you feel that way, but this is why we do it this way, because there is actually a reason. Maybe it's, a law. Maybe it's the rules, maybe it's company policy, maybe it's, we had this happen one time, and, there's a lot of things like that. And I was that way too. And, I would always question, why do we do it that way? It just seems like it'd be so much better to do this. Well, this is why. And which is a lot better than, no, we already looked at that. We're not doing it.
That's it. And I know we're all adults here, and I know that you have a job to do. And like, let's say you just put it blunt to them, nah, dude, we already looked into that. But if you somehow handle it with a little bit of velvety gloves and say, no, man, we've already looked into that. But man, I'll tell you what, thanks for coming up with that idea, man. Keep your eyes open in the future. If you come, I mean, dude, let me know, man. I appreciate you looking into that stuff like that. That way, hopefully you don't get that person where they cower down and they stop coming up with ideas, and they stop looking for different ways to handle things because all you've been doing is shooting them down.
And dude, actually look into it if you're a leader. I mean, we're talking about like, somebody comes to you and you have a good reason or it's not going to happen. But if somebody comes up with an idea and you don't do it that way and you don't actually know a good bona fide reason as to why you don't do it, don't just say, because that's how we do it here. Dude, nothing's worse than coming up with an idea and saying, hey, what if we da-da-da? And somebody says, no, we've always done it this way. We're going to keep doing it this way. We like the way we do it. And you go, well, why? Why don't we explore another option? It might even be more efficient. It might even be higher production. It might be safer. Why don't we look at doing it this way? And it just, that's the way we've always done it. We ain't changing, boy.
Well, and I know too, dude, that if you're a boss and you have people, obviously underneath you, and one comes up with a good idea and you present that good idea and it gets traction for the company, a lot of times, the boss will get recognition because his team came up with the idea.
Yep.
But what bosses or management, whoever it is, what they need to do, they need to give credit where credit's due. Instead of saying, yeah, I came up with that. Because I've seen it a lot of times out where I work, to where someone on my level will come up with a good idea. They'll present it up the chain. Then the up the chain will pitch that idea, and then they'll have the idea like it was theirs. They'll take all the credit for the idea instead of giving a shout out to Casey. Hey, actually it was, Casey in Ponca City? Yeah, he was the one that actually came up with this idea. If they give credit to where credit's due, then you're going to have more people motivated to keep doing that stuff instead of management running with the good ideas.
Dude, that's one of the most frustrating things in my career, especially being so young, is coming up with ideas. And you go and you tell them to people. And this is something I really have just learned how to humble myself, because ultimately you want what's best for everybody in the team, right? And sometimes, like some of these old heads that have been doing it for a long time, they will not take advice. They don't want to change. They've been doing it a long time. So if they want to see change, they have to be the ones that come up with it. And this is to your middle level managers right here. Your guys that you can make a little bit of change, but you need the people above you to be on board in order to make change. You have to drip them an idea. And you have to, and this goes for your people too. I mean, if you go in guns a-blazing trying to make a whole bunch of changes as a leader, your people are going to get pissed off. It doesn't matter if they're great changes. It's different and it's not what they're used to. And you have to make change slowly. It comes very slowly. And people are going to start liking you very slowly. And coming around to you as a leader, but you have to make them think it's their idea. You have to help them buy in. And a lot of times you drip it to them. I do this with guys all the time in our industry, statewide. I mean, I deal with people in big companies all the time that I'll try to suggest an idea, and some of these like association meetings or some of these, board meetings or something like that. And I'm like, hey, what if we do this? And whenever I was younger, I would be like, we need to do this, go this way. And everybody, no, we're not doing that. And now it's, you mention it in passing. And a few weeks later, you kind of mention it again. Well, maybe a few weeks or a month later, your boss comes up and he goes, I had the best idea. And they tell you the idea that you've been telling them.
Yeah.
And at first that was really frustrating for me. And then I realized, you know what? I know in my heart that that's what's best for the team. I'm just happy it's implemented.
Yeah.
You want the credit, you want people to see it, and you try to like kind of make it clear. But I think that people who need to see that know ultimately your role in that decision. Even if it's not clear, I think subconsciously people realize where that came from.
Yeah.
And the influence that person had to get that idea.
I used to sign off on my emails like a quote from myself whenever I'd send an email. And my quote was, there needs to be more credit giving and less thunder stealing.
Yes.
And that goes back to, dude, I'm a big boy, dude. I don't need Casey, I don't need an attaboy. I don't need that. But as I said, you'll keep people more driven and motivated if you do throw them a bone. Now, here's the hedge. Here's the hedge on it. What if the idea that you come up with, they ran with it and it's a shitty idea and it costs, well, Casey was the one that came up with it. That's when they'll throw the credit on you, is when you cost the company.
Yeah, I posted that the other day on a post. Pretty big post that we had was, a person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected.
Yeah.
And I mean, in this industry, like, you hear the corporate people, they mock all the time, like, oh, we're out here making all the money for this company and the best they can do is a shitty Little Caesars pizza party.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're always mocking the pizza party. Dude, I mean, in the construction industry, in the blue collar industry, dude, just an attaboy goes a long way. Yeah. Just a, hey, I appreciate you. Like, I saw what you did and I appreciate it. Because whenever you're out there on a crew of 40, 50 people, even if you're on a crew of 5 people, there's so much going on and so many people are doing so much stuff, there's so much chaos going on a job site that a simple, hey, I noticed what you did and I appreciate it, goes a long way, just to be seen.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people in our industry are people who maybe didn't have the best home life growing up or anything like that. And just to be seen means a lot to those people, man.
Yeah. And dude, a lot of the good ideas will come from the ground crew, the guys who are in the field. And like, dude, there's a lot of times where the field guys, they're not able to go out and eat executive lunches every damn day. They're out in the field. And what you did right after the 4th of July, when you went out and you cooked the hamburgers and hot dogs for the field guys on your Blackstone or whatever, that was a good gesture, man. I mean, those guys can't leave the job because they're out there. And so you actually brought a nice little change of pace to them, man.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's cool whenever you get to do that kind of stuff. And as a leader too, that goes a long way. And even like whenever I was first starting out, I didn't really have the sway to say, hey, let's go spend a couple $100 buying lunch for everybody. I mean, I would do stuff on my own accord, just little things that showed that, hey, I appreciate you. Like, dude, I give out like dirty and driven stickers at work and people like those, man. Yeah. Like, it's cool. And I like seeing them on people's lunch boxes and water bottles and, you know, then I tell some stories about some people here and there on the show and it's cool. And people are like, oh, I heard that. That's neat. You know, it makes them, because I can't keep up with everybody on our crew. There's so many.
Right.
And, you know, it's cool. And just sometimes just to have that one-on-one conversation with people you don't normally get to and hear about their lives. I mean, I think people overthink being a leader because of social media. I think that it makes it look bad. But one of the biggest things that I've seen lately is a lot of young people are getting promoted before they should or before they get proper training because I lost my train of thought. Choo. Where was it? What was I saying, dude?
I don't know, but
I just Joe Biden blanked on you.
That's fine. I was thinking,
oh, I know what I was saying. A lot of people are getting promoted because, I mean, the reason we started the show is because of just skills gap, labor gap, things like that. So you see a lot of these older guys retiring out that have been there forever and people didn't succession plan very well. And now it's in the hands, you know, a guy that's, you know, in his 60s that retires, he's getting replaced by younger guys to be the foreman or the superintendents or whatever. And they might only have 3 or 4 years experience in the industry as a whole. And now they're in a big spot. I mean, that's where I was a few years ago, you know, whenever I was 21 and kind of in that position. I had good mentorship above me that guided me through that process and still does. But a lot of guys are just thrown to the wolves and then they ultimately fail because they were never taught how to be a leader. They might have been good at what they do, but now they've got to learn a whole new skill set and they don't even know how because they've never seen it before.
Yeah. I think also a way to be a good leader or a good boss is obviously treat others the way that you'd want to be treated. So just think, hopefully you kind of have a little retrospective like I did reaching out to that guy I went to high school with. And if you have an interaction with somebody in the work group and you go away, maybe you look back and say, dude, was I being a dick to him? Or you know what I mean? Maybe, man, God, I know I came off like a dick. Maybe I should settle it up a little bit, ease up a little bit, and treat people a little bit better. Because I would hate for somebody to come down on me like that.
Dude, I hate it whenever I hear guys that are in a leadership position that say, yeah, I was pretty hard on my guy yesterday. I really shouldn't have been that hard on him. And I just unloaded on him and I didn't even mean it. And you go, well, have you said anything to them about it today? Oh, no, they're over it. It's fine. I'm like, no, seriously, dude, go talk to him and let him know, hey, man, I was being a dick.
Yeah.
I was having a bad day. And unfortunately, I took it out on you. I didn't mean that because that means a lot to somebody too.
Yes, I've got a good friend of mine. He lives up in Montana, and he helped me a bunch doing side jobs and side work when he lived here in town. And one of my best friends, dude, and the kicker was, although he was my best friend, dude, I would treat him like a dick again at times. Like, dude, fuck, man, goddamn it, dude, hurry up and get. And I'd be real pissy and shitty, and he would eat it. Mm-hmm. He never ever once, out of all the times I was that way to him, I didn't mean it, but out of all those times, he could have like clapped back or barked back at me, and he never did. But after I did that, and we kind of got the work done, and we got past sweating and all the grind, whatever it was, I knew the way I was acting. I said, "Hey, dude, just by the way, earlier, whenever I was being, snippy with you, dude, you didn't deserve that, man. I'm sorry, dude. I was just hot. I'm tired. This job's dragging on." And he'd be, "Hey, man, no hard feelings." But it's good to, even if you have an argument with, whether it's a coworker or a disagreement with a coworker or a spouse, girlfriend, whatever it is, you know that things are elevated. It ain't a good time. But then right after that, once things cool off, be sure to, hopefully, if you genuinely are sorry, say, "Hey, man, sorry," or "Hey, babe, sorry about that earlier. Hey, babe, you didn't deserve it."
Yeah. And one of the comments is, "Yeah, you got to treat others good, but on the flip side, some people are overly sensitive." Yeah. I mean, there's caveats. I mean, there's some people that you can't even joke around them. Yeah. You can't tell them anything. You can't joke around them. You can't, even if you get a little bit rude with them, they just shut down. And you're starting to see that more and more. I think it's because, I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I read that book, The Anxious Generation, and it talks a lot about that and about how so many people are anxious because they live in this online world where everything's good and fun and nice all the time, and they live in a bubble, right? They're not getting out and doing stuff and interacting with other people, especially kids. So a lot of the younger kids, everybody says, "Oh, they're just soft. They're soft." And they are different, man. A lot of the younger generation, I mean, I've seen it with people in their 30s too, but seriously, the kids entering the workforce now, right out of high school, the 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, I mean, you do have to treat them differently, and they don't take disrespect. I mean, they will argue with you. Now, there's some people that are just dickheads, and then they say, "Well, everyone's too sensitive." And it's like, well, no, you're just an asshole, but there are going to be people that are too sensitive. And there's people, I'm not saying everybody fits in on your crew all the time. I mean, if you have good culture on your crew and you bring somebody in and they can't handle the jokes or the heat or the stress that you're accustomed to, and everybody else is just, they know that that's the way it is, and you have a precedent, you have a standard, and they can't meet the standard because they're too sensitive and you can't give them any criticism, they got to go.
Yeah.
They got to go. I mean, and that's the reality of it too. I mean, it's not all sunshine and rainbows like I'm trying to make it not sound like all sunshine and rainbows, but it very much is not. There's hard conversations you got to have with people like that.
Well, I think those sensitive people too, that kind of goes back to the vetting process on whoever you're bringing in. I mentioned to you before the scenario with that SEAL Team 6 guy, how everybody that's on SEAL teams vie for the SEAL Team 6 job, whoever gets nominated. And the people who make it on that SEAL Team 6, they already proved that they could put in the work. But they would go for a month and they would mesh with the SEAL Team guys, the SEAL Team 6 guys, just to see if they would mesh and how are they going to be working with each other. They know that they can put in the work, but they want to see if they're cool guys, if they ain't sensitive, if they're good on, they want to see if they can go out and drink beers with the guys and hang out. That was the vetting process. And if you can somehow figure out the vetting process, vet that potential hire that's going to come in your work group, whether it's them hang out or go to eat with, whoever, during the hiring process, figure them out, then you'll probably have a good pulse on if they're going to work out with the group and not be sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. And, some people need the carrot and some people need the stick too. I mean, there's people that you need to rip their ass for them to understand. And there's people that you need to give them "Hey man, this is where you screwed up and I want to help you through this. And I think that you're doing a good job, but we need to da-da-da-da-da." It's just different people. And again, you don't want a high maintenance person on your crew. I mean, you really don't. And you got to get rid of those people, but you do have to apply a little bit different leadership style to different people sometimes. If you want to be a good leader, I mean, you can be a regular leader, you can be a shitty leader and treat everybody the same and not notice them at all. But like I said, some people need the carrot and some people need the stick.
Well, I've tried that with not only my kids, but others, to where you'll try asking them nicely at first, "Hey man, could you, and and that ain't going to get any traction. So then you kind of increase your presentation on trying to get them to do something. That ain't working. The next thing you know, 2 or 3 levels up, now you're just being an asshole trying to get the shit done.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, dude, why the hell are you yelling at me? It's like, dude,
I've asked you 18 fucking times, dude. I'm about to.
Yeah.
Some people need the carrot, some people need the stick, and I'm going to beat you with this
you
carrot.
didn't need to yell at me, dude. Oh, shit, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I tried being nice at first, and you just took advantage of it.
Dude, that's the hard thing, too, is in the younger workforce, too, like to go a little deeper into like psychology. There's some kids who have only been yelled at and abused all their life, so they get sensitive from the yelling because literally it's trauma from their childhood. And then there's some kids who have never even been noticed, never been yelled at, never had a thing said to them, or they were even extremely coddled and never really got to experience the real world. And now they're in the workforce and they don't take it either. And it's just different, man. Just the generation now, because they grew up with phones and technology, is a lot different than previous generations for sure.
Back in my day.
Even kids entering the workforce now versus whenever I entered it. I mean, I guess now it's been 8 years since I was 18 and on the move. And it's just different, dude. Not to even say it's bad. I mean, it's just different. So I don't know, man. I think we beat the carrot out of that conversation. But no, seriously, guys, we are a podcast. We talk about a lot of dumb stuff and goofy stuff and all that. But, if you are a business owner and you actually want to have a leadership training implemented in your company, let us know. We'd love to work with you on making a plan for that. We do that. That is a service. We don't advertise it a whole lot on the podcast, but we do that here at Dirty and Driven, leadership training and consulting. Or if you're just somebody who, wants to talk about it, shoot us a message and we'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What else you got today, Casey?
That's it,
huh?
Go home and hang out with the grandkids.
Yeah. They're hanging out with us. They're on this chat.
Yeah. Yeah. And my beautiful wife and my animals.
Yeah.
Porky and Osiris and Ginger and Max and Caesar. Caesar is it Caesar
or is it Caesar?
Caesar is a female mutt or something that my wife and little man got at Walmart. But her name is Caesar. But I was calling her Caesarian.
Okay. You still got Big Mike?
Yeah. Big Mike. Big Mike. Big Mike's got some issues. All Big Mike does is just eat and shit and doesn't hang out with anybody. Every now and then Big Mike might come around. Big Mike's something else.
Yeah. So we put out some polls. One of the comments from Keki's Left Hand was that Hinder sucks. And I don't know why. Did we talk about Hinder?
No. Unless if somebody did.
I don't know. I couldn't keep up with the chat. There was so much going on. We had a couple polls. First one was Keki's left hand or Keki's right hand. Keki's left hand won. The second one was crab or lobster. Lobster won. And Q&A, best Hinder song. And nobody's voted on it so far. Had to troll in there. What do you think best Hinder song is?
I don't even know a Hinder song. I remember...
Well, there's Lips of an Angel. That's definitely the most known.
Yeah, I remember our son was a big Hinder fan back when he was in high school.
That's our singer's favorite band. And I was like, whose favorite band is Hinder?
Yeah, because they had I think there's a Hinder spray paint deal on the second floor over there of this building. Someone spray painted on the wall because it's like it's an upside down star with a circle or something. It's kind of like that's their logo or their emblem.
Oh, that's their logo. I thought that was like the Anarchy logo.
It kind of looks like it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's on the wall right over there.
Make it so hard to be faithful.
But anyway, our son Nick, he was a big Hinder fan back in I can't even do math. 2010, 11.
I can only name two Hinder songs, and that's Lips of an Angel, obviously, and then Use Me. Use Me is a good song. We used to play that one whenever we were a 5-piece band. Can't really play it 4.
You got 5 strings on your bass.
Yep.
That makes up for the missing 5th person.
That makes up for a missing lead guitar, yes.
Yeah. I saw a guy today. I was going to send it to you. he played the Freebird solo on bass guitar when it came up. Dude, he was
Wait, really?
yeah, dude, it's awesome because it's a long solo and real fast.
Did he have a 6-string bass?
No, he only had 4.
Okay.
But no, he was playing. I was going to send it to you, but I was like, James has probably seen this, or he's probably been there, done that.
I'll send that to me. I'd watch that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's different. I played, we did that on a song we're learning right now. There's a lead guitar part in the beginning and it sounded weird, but the bass doesn't usually play there.
All right.
So I did the lead guitar part on the bass. It's different, but it's cool. It sounds neat.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, guys. We won't bore you all any longer.
Hey, I'm going to do a quick shout out to everybody. Thanks, Mama Llama 74. Thanks, Boogs, Primal Productions, Keki's Left Hand, Alex. I can't come to find out your cover has been uncovered. Debo, Dustin, Bianca, if you're still listening, with Olivia and JC, and Nikki and Maddie, my granddaughters that are probably listening with Mama Llama. So
yeah, so we had around 20 people, and then we had a lot of other stragglers who didn't say anything in the chat. So we had around 20 people on our first live stream. So
they were voyeurs. They're voyeurs. They watch, but they don't participate. Yeah. They call them cucks. Cucks in the in the industry. Yeah, they're usually the husband that sits in the corner while the wife is hanging out with somebody else. So yeah, shout out to the cucks that didn't participate. The dirty and driven cucks.
Yeah, thanks all you dirty and driven cucks for listening. Your granddaughters can come home.
What is cuck? Papa kept saying cuck. they gotta grow up sometime.
Yeah. All right, well, you cuckholes out there, get out there and do something hard today.
Well, by God.